Pumpkin spice lattes are in the air, and yes, we are inspired by them, which is why we're bringing you this awesome seasonal custom nail. Greg's gonna take you through the steps of how he creates this custom free edge and how to create that super ridiculously sharp smile line, all with gel. Right now on Nail School. All right, bro, pumpkin spice lattes are delicious. Show us how to put it on a nail, bro. Inspiration.
So I'm going to use a really awesome technique that's going to show you guys how to create the perfect smile line so that when you file it out, it's going to be razor sharp. But the glitter mix and overdrive for mission control is going to create the perfect black to orange ombre on the tip. I'm going to show you guys how to execute this design for the holiday season. What I'm going to do is use Clear Sculptor. It is a non-leveling clear gel, and what I want to be able to do is mix in my glitter into this wonderful building gel. What I'm going to do is take golden orange, mandarin, and rockstar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress it into the gel and just really start to blend it so that we have really great opacity. I went heavier on the golden orange. That way when I build the nail, you're going to see it shape the smile line really, really well. Tracy's nail has been prepped, the shine has been removed, and protein bond has been applied twice. We're now going to apply a thin coat of base gel from cuticle to free edge. Going to set it down, and what we're going to do is we're just going to brush on a nice even coat from cuticle all the way down to the tip, ensuring that we have a nice even application. If there's too much, you could always brush off the excess, put it back inside your jar. As you can see, nice and even. We're going to get that inside the light and freeze it for a minimum of 30 seconds. Get it inside the light and work on the other hand. As soon as you're done applying it to the other hand, you're going to be ready to rock and roll on the first one that you applied on. We're now going to take Concealer Peach, and we're going to establish our foundation layer to our smile line. And what I like to do is take a small amount on the tip of my brush. And what I do is I like to set it, again, notice that it's on the tip of my brush right here. It's not on both sides, just on the tip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it to the very, very front of the nail, and I'm going to push it, and this is going to allow me to slide it all the way to the corner, creating the right depth that I need for my smile line. I'm going to go all the way out to the corner just like this, and that is going to be the first layer that I'm going to establish from side to side. As soon as I'm done doing that, I'm going to get it inside the light and freeze it into place. Okay, the best part about this is while that is setting, I'm going to be able to do this to the other fingers. You can apply 2 fingers at a time and rotate between hands. Here's the best part about this application. I have the perfect wall, and I also have a well. When I set this down and I bring it all the way down to the edge, it's going to bring it up high enough so that when I file it into shape, it's going to be razor sharp perfect. I'm going to get a nice healthy bead. Again, keeping it on one side of my brush, as you can see. I'm going to set it to the cuticle area right here. And again, I'm going to use a pillowing technique to walk it all the way around, getting it as close to the edge as I possibly can. And notice that as I start to swing down, I'm going to swing right down on top of that wall that I created. What this is going to do, it's going to prevent the product from running past, but it's going to create enough depth so that when I file my smile line, it's going to file perfectly into shape. One thing you can do is if your client is sensitive to a large amount of gel that you built up on the nail, you could actually keep it in front of the light for about 30 seconds before you go back inside for the full 60. Now, before I put the form on and start to build out the glitter tip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my file and I'm going to file out my smile line really, really sharp. So because my wall is the perfect depth, it's going to be really easy for me to get around the edges. So I'm just going to take my time and file it out absolutely perfect. Do not worry about the dust or the dispersion layer. Take a dry manicure brush and just kind of dust it away, just like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the form on her finger. And we're going to build her free edge using the glitter mix. Because of the consistency, it's going to sculpt really well. So what I want to be able to do is build it out as tight to the natural nail and bring it all the way out to the desired length, and then use the excess to bring right up to the edge of the smile line. I'm going to go ahead and freeze it inside the light for a minimum of 30 seconds, and this is going to give me the opportunity to work on the other hand. Okay, so this area is still really shallow, so I'm just going to take a little bit more glitter and just kind of butt it up to that really shallow area and feather it before I cap it with flex. So let's go ahead again and take a really small amount. I'm going to go ahead and set it down and just kind of brush it into place, forcing most of the glitter right up to the smile line. This is going to really bring out the intensity of that really bright orange look. Let's go ahead and freeze it inside the light for 30 seconds. I'm now going to take flex, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the filler gel in the space and cap the glitter free edge. So I'm just bringing it right up to the edge, and then with a really shallow amount, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to feather it over the rest of the tip. And this is basically going to fill in any unnecessary space. Let's go ahead and get that inside the light and cure it for its final cure, 60 seconds. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take off the form. We're going to use swipe to cleanse the surface. We're going to file this into shape and do our last bit of detail. I'm done file and finishing the nail. I'm now going to take a nice even amount of protein bond and apply it around the perimeter and through the surface. Now what we're going to do is take a really thin amount of overdrive, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint in around the smile line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it right here in the front with a nice little bead, and then what I'm going to do is just lightly drag along the smile line all the way up to the corner. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side from the center. Just going to get a nice bead on the tip of my brush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it down in the center. Can you see it? I'm going to lay it down into the center and then basically follow the smile line with the very, very tip of my brush all the way to the corner. Okay. So at this point, all I can do is just use the very, very tip just to make it super sharp. And then what we're going to do with our gel brush is we're lightly going to ombre it into the glitter. Just by pulling it slightly down. It's going to kind of create that really pretty kind of smoke effect. Right at the smile line. And that's how we're going to get it to fade. We're going to freeze this inside the light for a minimum of 30 seconds. It gives you enough time to do the other hand. And we're going to seal it with a stain-resistant top coat. Let's go ahead and set it inside for a minimum of 1 minute. As soon as it's done, we're going to wipe off the tacky layer, and you guys are going to see the incredible shine and dimension that this orange and black combination free edge will give off. Let's go ahead and wipe off the dispersion layer. Apply a nice amount of cuticle oil around the cuticle area. And as you can see, you're going to get an awesome fade into your awesome glitter free edge. Orange and black always complement each other when you have a nice pumpkin spice latte in your hands.